The following opinions are solely those of BoatTEST.com and its test captain.
Hi, Captain Steve for BoatTEST.com, and today we're going to conduct a sea trial of a Sea Ray Express cruiser at the top of her game in terms of fit and finish. It's the new 470 Sundancer, powered by twin Cummins diesels and Zeus pods. Let's step aboard and see how she fares.
We board by coming on the full-beam swim platform that comes out 5 feet from the transom, and we enter the first social area, the Aft Cockpit, with L-shaped seating.
First thing is, we need to head down below to the ship's electrical panel. It's just behind a pair of mirrored doors right next to the companionway. Sea Ray went with a panel divided into 3 sections, 240 volt, 120 volt, and 12 volt. With the power brought online, the engine room is accessed from an electric lift hatch controlled at the helm. This allows a good visual between the engines. We also like the hatch in the salon that provides even more access to the front of the engines, and there's a ladder to ease entry from here as well. Standard power is a pair of 473 horsepower Cummins QSB 6.7s connected to V-drives. The optional Zeus drives were fitted to our test boat with joystick functionality, of course. The fuel filters are all mounted to the aft bulkhead. There's also easy access to the bronze sea strainers, a feature that every boat should have. At the forward bulkhead are the electrical boxes and the automatic discharge fire extinguisher. As we take a look at the helm, we see that Sea Ray designed a starboard control station with a gel-coated dash. A pair of E125 widescreen displays are installed as standard. This includes a high-definition color radar. Just above is a leather trim panel surrounding the compass. The vessel view display is below. Electrical switches all in one line with the precision pilot control pad. To the starboard side, the DTS controls and the Zeus joystick. The double-wide helm seat features individual flip-up bolsters. It adjusts fore and aft. There are flip-down armrests. Down below, there's a footrest that I would like to see a little bit higher. The huge 2-piece windshield is cleared with a pair of pantograph wipers with washers built in. Up on deck, the crew has easy access to the bow thanks to the cabin side grab rails and the protective side rails that meet ABYC standards for height. Fully forward is a Lumar windlass leading out to a stainless anchor roller mounted to the deck. Now let's get underway. The Sea Ray 470 Sundancer has a length overall of 47 feet 3 inches, a beam of 14 feet, and a draft of 51 inches with the pod drives. With a pair of 480 horsepower Cummins diesels turning those pods, we reached a top speed of 32.1 knots at 3350 RPM. At that speed, we were burning 48.8 gallons per hour for a range of 207.3 nautical miles. Our most economical cruise came in at 3,000 RPM and 27.3 knots. That speed reduced the fuel burn to 38 gallons per hour and increased the range to 226 nautical miles. But the simple fact is, this best economy is marginally changed as we increase the throttles on up to full power. In fact, from 2750 RPM on up, she'll travel at a consistent 0.7 nautical miles per gallon, so this really is a boat that allows one to set the throttle based on the prevailing conditions rather than a concern over economy. The 470 is a comfortable boat to drive. She exhibits good wave penetration and throws water low and wide, and with her slight bow-high attitude, she keeps spray well back and off the windshield. However, the real beauty of being able to test in windy conditions was to experience for ourselves her level of comfort, and frankly, we were impressed. There was no pounding, none, and this made the ride self-evident that guests on board would be right at home on a long cruise with this boat. Even more impressive was how stable she was in these conditions. Certainly, we've been around boats a lot, so our sea legs were accustomed to a bit of rock and roll. But the fact is, we were able to negotiate our way around the boat at all times without having to apply a death grip to rails and furniture to steady ourselves. This is an important test on any boat. She's also quite stable at slower speeds. That bodes well for having guests aboard that may have little experience with being on the water. On accelerating, there's a minimal bow rise with no interruption of the visibility beyond the bow. We love this opening side window for ventilation underway. It fills the helm deck with fresh air. However, with it open, there are now 2 levels of dark tinted glass just above, so we simply closed it again before making our approaches to the dock. Couple this window with the opening sunroof, and the breeze on our hot test day was amazingly comfortable. With turns to port, she leans enough into the turn so that the whole horizon comes into view through the sunroof. She'll make a 360-degree turn at speed in 17 seconds, and she'll take up about 2 boat lengths to do it. Trim tabs, I just put them on auto and let it handle the job, and it seemed to do it very well, so there's one less thing to worry about. Lastly, when it comes to close quarters maneuvering, the 470 really shines. She responds well to the helm, so tight areas are no concern. And when approaching the dock, just ease into position, bring the controls to neutral, and just move the hand to the joystick. That's all there is to it. No buttons to push, nothing to activate. Then just use gentle pulses of the stick to control the momentum up to the dock. Slow and steady works best, even with a crosswind. With no practice, it's easy to bring her right up against with just a gentle kiss against the dock.
Well, I have to say, I started out impressed with the level of fit and finish and luxury on board the 470 Sundancer, but once I got her underway, I was sold on how she handles. And that's my look at the 470 Sundancer from Sea Ray. For BoatTEST.com, I'm Captain Steve. We'll see you on the water.